SPconvo. Let's do it. Welcome back. Is America becoming a third world country? I'll say yeah. What is a third world country? A third world country is any country that lacks development, where people have no rights. A third world country is a country where the population of the people is overwhelming for the landmass. Opportunities are scarce. Influence is power. That's a third world country where the people of the land have gripes that's never addressed. Poverty through the roof. Can't afford something. America will soon be there. Look at the recent changes in the country. A lot of immigration, poor people from around the world, let in by the US government. The citizens of America had no say. You can't speak against corruption or else you'd be imprisoned. Jobs are minimal. The pay you receive is minimal. Everything around that pay is high. Rent through the roof. Produce through the roof. Food through the roof. But yet, somehow, some way, people have to make it. People have to decide are they gonna wash their clothes or buy food. People have to decide are they gonna pay their rent or buy their medication. America fabric is changing. Before, America was you have a family, your kids grow up, go to school, get a degree, get a career, move out on their own, start their own family. Now you got 4 to 5 to 6 people in the house, and your household will remain that way because it's too expensive for your kids to move on and move out. That's third world. Other countries have that manifest. Other countries are so poor the families have to stick together, remain underneath one roof just to survive. And if that one person was to leave that quantity, that's a struggle. That's what's going on actually in the country. And the government seems like they don't care. As long as they eating good, the citizens gonna have to find a way. And to a certain extent, could you blame the government? Because it'll make no sense to change anything if people find a way to afford the things that they raise the price on. You have people saving their money to buy a car that in less than 3 months is going to be confiscated because they can't afford it. They miss 1 or 2 payments and here comes the tow truck. Corporations buy into things. Corporations lobby. They hire who they want to hire. And the citizens just have to deal with it. Let's see what's the definitive reason. Sorry, what's the definitive definition of excuse me, a third world. Oh, sorry. A third world country originally referred to nations not aligned with NATO or the Communist bloc during the Cold War, but today it generally describes economically developing or underdeveloped countries. The term Third World was coined by the French historian Alfred Sauvé in 1952 to categorize countries that were politically non aligned during the Cold War. The First War included capitalist, industrialized nations like the United States, Japan, and Western Europe, while the Second World referred to communist states led by the Soviet Union and its allies. Third world countries were those that did not align with either bloc, often including nations in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. You had to pick a side. People didn't want to pick a side, so we ended with nothing. Miraculously, it's those same groups right there that's into America, that they flood in America. They didn't want to be on the side of America, but they end up in America. We get into that later. Over time, the term shifted from a political destination to an economic and developmental one. Today, third world countries are often described as developing, economically disadvantaged, or least developed nations. They typically face challenges such as high poverty rates, limited industrialization, political instability, and inadequate access to essential services. The term is sometimes considered derogatory and must the term is sometimes considered derogatory, and more precise alternatives like developing countries, global south, or low income countries are preferred in contemporary discourse. Characteristics of third world countries: economic, low GDP per capita, limited industrialization, reliance on agriculture or informal sectors. For the social, high poverty, limited access to healthcare, education, and social safety nets. Political, often experience instability, weak governance, or restricted civil liberties. Now, it's the main one. Geographic, many are located in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Oceania countries. They give an example. India, countries like India, Cuba, and many African nations were considered third world. Today, the United Nations classifies only 45 countries as least developed, granting them access to preferential, preferential trade, aid, and technical assistance. So if you look at it like that, no, America would not be third world. So I'm gonna pull it up. I read it, but I'm gonna put it up in display so you can see it. Starting from here, third world. Got it? All right. So America has technology, but there's another country that's keeping right up with the technology, China. And there's small other countries that have technological advances too. I know Estonia, their airports is technically sound. Finland, their airports is technically advanced. They have a whole mall in the airport in Helsinki. It's phenomenal. 25, 35-minute walk. Get you from one side of the airport to the other. It's mesmerizing. But let's get back to all those imports of Latin America, Asia, and African migrants coming to America. They have a third world mind. So when they come to the United States of America, they live like that. 7, 8, 10, 15 people in an apartment. So they're able to pay their rent on time because there's so many of them. If you pay 30 people $5 an hour, they could afford the rent. Like human mules, like human lab rats on a wheel. They keep going and going and going. They don't stop. And that's changing the fabric of America. Because whenever you have a government that's corrupted by accepting money, and allowing people to enter the country, and most of them have no good services. I'm going to admit that. Most people come to the States and they get on benefit service. They get on government services. And now that money is being depleted. All the money is drying up. All the money is drying up. And it seems to be a smile on certain people's faces to hear the average American complain about the lifestyle, complain about rent, complain about struggle. It seems like certain people want that. They feel good to hear that. I guess you could call that. See? Now you know how we feel. I guess. Yes. Let's see if it pop up. America seeming to fall into that way. This is fair use. Shout out to the original contact creator, Philip Scott. I just want to get this lady talking point.
This is a story that
And the white people always think about holding back their citizens and they always come back to get them. Sad but true. So we're gonna start from right here. Too much of these ads, man. Let's go. Go. There we go.
Look around you. If we lived in a first world country,
Yeah, they got life messed up. It's going to continue to be. Let's check this out.
we live in a third world country. Look around you. If we lived in a first world country, then why was my rent this same apartment? This same exact apartment? Sorry, I've got all this TikTok shit. But why was the rent $800 or $700 5 to 10 years ago? It went up $500, $600, $700, and I live in a 1-bedroom. with 4 people. People are splitting the rent. They're staying in abusive relationships just to pay the rent because they can't afford it on their own. Not to mention, damn near taking your own life by working 12 to 16-hour days just to pay the rent. My apartment, it's not luxury. It's average. It's normal. For $1,300 for a 1-bedroom, not including water, electric, Wi-Fi. Honestly, what first world country do you see? Are you
You heard what she said? What first world country do you see? This is a white woman expressing the struggles of her country, the struggles that her people put in place to keep the blacks down and any other person of color down, but mainly the blacks. And now it comes back to bite her and her people. But if she said it, since everybody is programmed to believe whatever the white woman say or the white man say had to be truth, had to be gold, she's saying it. So America is a third world country.
work 60 to 70 hours every single week for A, for you to get fired and then replace you, or B, for you to just die and have no time to live? Sorry, but you're not meant to work like a robot and pay bills like you're an ATM machine. Let's be honest here. Are you really living or are you surviving? What first world country do you really see?
There you go. So right there is what you see. Here in that comment, a lot of people who live like that every day in their country saying, hey, now America gets it. But why would you want Americans to get it if there was a social class or ethnic group of people that always lived that way? It's not hurting them. It's always been like that for them. But for white people, today's their struggle. Today's their wake-up call. America's a third world country. If it's not now, soon to be. Very soon to be. That's all I have, man. I'm out.